Hi everybody, it's Imani, your host on A Kid Story today. So today we have Khalid.
What's going on, guys? Khalid, out this New York. Here, shout out to Imani to let me come on the show, giving me this opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Khalid, thank you. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so what made you want to be a part of A Kid Story?
Honestly, because we have each other on social media.
Right.
For those that don't know, we actually go back, prior to the show, elementary, middle school days.
Right.
So you guys know how Facebook, social media works. You see people doing their thing. I was kind of sitting back in the cut for a little bit. I was just, okay, making your moves, doing your thing. Everything is organized. It's looking professional. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can finesse my way up in there. See if we can, help each other out. We're from the same parts of the city,
Right.
So why not? It's a good opportunity doing your thing. So let's make this happen.
Okay. And once again, thank you, because it means so much to know that people's watching, and I like how you didn't just jump and be like, oh, hey bro, what's good? Can I be a part of the show? Which is it's not bad, but it's just like you said, you waited it out a little bit to see how it would flow or how it was working out, and then you kind of made your way up, made your way into it. Also, I want to ask you, how did you hear about it? Besides me advertising, did you see it somewhere?
Actually, going on. Kind of same thing with the social media thing.
Right.
I actually watched the first episode. Is how I found the show when you were promoting it, and then I actually just started doing my own research from there. You guys have at least 3-4 episodes.
Right. Yes, we have.
So I was just watching that, and I was like, okay, kind of learning the format a little bit. So once I really saw what it was about, I was like, okay, seeing your Instagram, the face, everything just kind of fell through, domino effect after that. So.
Okay.
And
what kind of feelings did you get towards that? Did you feel I don't know, I'm a little nervous to try to reach out? Am I do I really want to share certain things?
Honestly, seeing the format, because now that I'm here, it's definitely a relaxed environment.
Right.
We could just, kick back. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But I was a little nervous because when I first saw the kid's story, I was like, man, this sounds like something that's really deep, really these people really telling their life stories, and I was expecting to hear all kind of traumatic events, but actually looking into it, it's regular people just like us that come from the same neighborhood, same skin, same places that we come from, just telling some of the stories that we all go through and been through. So once I pretty much got comfortable in learning the format, it was just this is something I have to be a part of to really voice my opinions and what I got going on with myself. So that was pretty much that.
Okay, thank you again. And that means a lot once again. And I know, today we're gonna be talking about music, guys, right? So he's into music. I'm not gonna ruin his story, but we're gonna just tap in a little bit. So how did music become your passion?
That's an excellent question. You look at certain people that were just bred to do certain things, this person is a lawyer, a doctor, and you look into their lives where they, when I was such and such years old, my parents had me in this program, by the time I hit high school, college, this was kind of something that was destined for them. But with me, I always started off with instruments, young, about 3-4 drums. I was in the elementary, middle school bands, and then I kind of fell off from that. Once I got a little closer to high school, because computers were a little more popular, so I kind of figured out how to utilize the computers and the softwares to make my own beats and start rapping and putting really laying myself down. So that kind of started me off there, but it's definitely those instruments that laid that early foundation for me. So
okay.
Shout out to my granddad for making me take them piano lessons.
That's what's up.
Pops.
And something that you touched on when you said that how your people's parents may have them in this program or may have them in that program and things like that, and I can say that honestly, me growing up, and we've been to the same after school program, we've been around the same activities, and I feel our after school exposed us a lot to art.
Definitely.
I feel like we had a lot of individuals from in the industries, different part of the industries, come and work with the youth, which was us at the time, and I felt like that inspired me, you know, to want to do art. I didn't really know exactly what art I wanted to get into, but I knew that just by those programs and those different aspects that was exposed to us and that we had opportunities to be a part, really like grasped my attention, you know. And like you said, you playing the instruments kind of started a foundation for you, you know. And me just doing art and doing those different art activities helped me grow into fashion and my poetry and things like that. So I think that is an excellent, like, you know, connection that you made with that.
Thank you.
Also, what was some of, all right, so I know like you kind of started your own business, or you're upcoming, right? So tell us a little about the business.
All right, well, time to get my plug on.
Right.
All right, so right now, you know, as you guys are watching this, I need you to kind of multitask. If you can take some notes, it's imperative to do that. But if you're on your phone, search up at BSM914 right now. Basically what we're a distribution company, management, we handle marketing, promotions, we have many different services under one umbrella. So you might have people that, oh, we're just a label, we make music, or we just focus on productions. We actually, all of those things that you need, that pretty much like a major label, if you was to get signed tomorrow or something, would give you, is the same thing on a more independent, small scale.
Right.
So you come to me with a song or a video, or it's not even just music, because we handle video, TV, distribution things. If you have a book or what else, literally anything media form that can be read, distributed, streamed, bought, it is my job to put it out there and get it to the world. So even you have stuff like this, like it would be my job to hit her up and say, hey, I have my artist here. You know, he has his own little background story. How can we get him up on the show? And you know, that's the kind of networking stuff I would do behind the scenes. So
Okay.
kind of have a lot going on.
Right. That's BSM, right?
Yeah.
What does that stand for? Something?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Now you have Blackstone Media Collective. Now that's also another key thing, which is why I don't really like push the label kind of thing, because we have so much going on under one umbrella, which I kind of adopted that collective name. I feel like that's kind of the wave that's going on when you see with like upcoming businesses and music. Like people are not really trying to adopt that old-fashioned, or we're a label. It comes with too much attachments, and you feel locked into a situation that you might not really want to be in going on later down the moment. So with us, we have a different focus, you know.
Okay.
So
that's dope. That's dope. I'm starting a business as well.
Yeah.
I'm not exposing it to you guys yet though, so don't ask.
Cool.
Even though you're not gonna ask, but still. But okay, so like, what was some of like, cause you're not. I wouldn't say like, you know, you're on your way. You know what I mean? Like you're up and coming. So it's like, what has been some of the trials and tribulations within music and within your business and as a whole?
Well, two things you guys are gonna have to realize. You know, you're going to have issues when you're dealing with your team. You're going to have issues when you're dealing out with actual professionals in the industry. You know, within your team, my best bet would kind of, I don't really want to say like a power struggle, but more so everybody accepting responsibility. Like everybody has a role to play. If I'm going to be the director or the person in charge, he's going to be the producer, he's going to do this, that. Everybody has to be strong and, you know your role.
Yeah, right.
As far as like industry stuff is concerned, it's like, you know, shows sometimes don't always go the way you want it. You know, things are late. You know, all these tickets. You might lose your slots. It's all kind of losing money.
Right.
You paying for certain transactions. There's a lot of scammers out here, so you got to watch who you're doing business with.
I agree.
Run that name check. So.
Right. Okay, and it's like, what? Oh, I hit my train of thought. What has, like what mindset do you feel like you need to have when you're dealing with these trials and tribulations?
See, when you step into this world, you got to know this is not, you know, like you got to understand, like, these things are never personal, you know, it's always business. So once you go into the business with that attitude, I feel like a lot a lot of the stuff is a little bit easier to deal with. It's
Right.
not so much like, oh, why is this person this way, or why is he acting like? If you know what I know, then you know what I'm saying. Like that's
Right.
pretty much how I move along with that. So
Right. Okay.
you gotta have a real strong mind, mentally, a tough exterior on your heart. So just move like a bull, because
Right.
these sharks out here is nothing to play with.
And it's like, I noticed like now, like I remember when I first got into art,
Yeah.
like not a lot of people was into art.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just was young, so I didn't get to see the mass majority of
See,
people.
I'm glad you said that.
But
too.
I noticed that it's like now art, it's like it's a
everybody
trend now.
wanna
Like
be
everybody
all
wants to
artsy and
right,
like, come
and
on.
everybody wants to be art. And I don't knock anybody, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? But it's just like I realized that it's so easy for certain people to kind of get to that
Just-
point, because it's so many people that wants to do art, you know. And it's like sometimes it's hard to recognize the real people between, or the people that just want to be down.
You know what I will
You
say
know?
to that? Sometimes that's where it comes to, it's not what you know, who you know type of
Right,
thing.
right.
So I think like some people just, because I look at certain rappers, you like, how did this guy
Yeah.
blow up and this is trash, man. And,
Yeah.
But he got certain connections. So I think that's kind of
What it is, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like knowing who and knowing what and where and stuff like that. And I also noticed like people are like out, like really will steal your stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like me having this show and this platform, like I'm noticing that like, I have to kind of be careful about who I like, really let in here, and also let my ideas out too, because I actually saw somebody like, on the internet really like trying to like start something like this,
Yeah.
which I can't be mad about, because, but it's just like, dang, so.
intellectual. That's one thing, because I know we got to wrap up soon, but I know one thing that's key is your intellectual property. And this is the thing I tell the artists I work with. Don't leak your songs and your ideas prematurely before things are concrete in the ground. Artists that are moving independently, that don't really have like that machine, make sure you try to research and get your stuff copywritten, or try to get your things trademarked and legally on documents. What else did I want to say? That's pretty much it. But just watch kind of how who you tell certain things to. Don't send all your good stuff. Wait till it's solid in the ground and just.
And I'm actually learning that with my upcoming business that I'm starting, is that like usually I would have an idea and I would just expose it, because it's like you get this rush. You're like, oh, I just want to tell people, but I'm realizing, like you said, to really have a solid plan, really have everything together, so when you do launch it, it's all, it's fully together, And I want to take some of this time right now to speak about some of the advice or to the people. Like, what is some advice that you will give to some people?
Anybody that actually wants to start your business, for those living in New York State, just a quick Google search. The fee is about $200-300. Get yourself an LLC, limited liability corporation. Say if you're a rapper or whatever, just all you got to do is, if you want to invest in your own equipment, I would say start something basic, get yourself your laptop, a little interface, a mic, or if you have the money to invest, go into a studio to get that quality, do that as well. Definitely research. Google is free, key tool that everybody notices that don't really like using for some reason, but it's there, the information is there, you just have to go want to get it and look for it. So, you want to start your business, even if you don't have the money, just, take your time and get it solid. Try to get your, ideas down on paper. Same thing, you're a rapper. Just figure out your little 2-year, 5-year plan. See who you can network and talk to. You have to get out there. That's the main thing. Just get out there and talk to people.
Okay. So I just want to say thank you for being a part of A Kid's Story. You gave some really good information to the people, and I feel like, that's great. So my name is Imani Stinson, and I have a story.
My name's Khalid Williams, but please call me Habibi, and I got a story.
Thank you.
Thank God.